Welcome back to BaldHeaded Metal, guys, and welcome back to another Meshuggah reaction on this channel, which has been kind of all over the place. There's been songs I like, songs I couldn't connect with, but the overall theme has been that I really want to get into this band, and I feel like I'm missing out something. And it looks like for a lot of people, it's been a difficult journey to understand what this band is doing, but once they get it, they can never go back. And I really want that feeling. So perhaps this will be one of the songs. I know it's one of their new singles. A lot of people said I would quite enjoy this based on my tastes, so I'm jumping in with that kind of mindset. But for those who are new to this channel, I'm also critical of the things I listen to, and I try to be as I can verbal in what I like and what I dislike, so we can have interesting conversations about this band. I've never said, I think, much negative about Meshuggah. It's more of, I just don't get it, right? And I feel like it's going to take time for me to digest and get what this band is about. With that in mind, let's get into it and see what we got. And if you enjoy this kind of content, make sure to subscribe down below for more. I mean, the beginning is solid, right? It's just coming in very strong. Something you guys corrected me and kind of led me on is that you have to look at guitars almost like a percussion instrument in this band, and that the band is really about the rhythms. So I'm really trying to tune in into that when I'm listening to it. But the beginning here, I really like. I just want to see kind of where else this song goes. I can sense how they're changing the rhythm within the song, right? It almost seems like it's the same, but it's not the same. And it changes up and down. And it's almost like you can see me trying to headbang and then I lose my rhythm. Because they're switching, right? They're switching where it's kind of located. And it's jarring a little bit, right? When you're listening to it. Because I think it's not a unique thing to them, but they're just really good at doing that. And it's an element they use a lot in their music. I really love his vocals, something I've never really mentioned a lot. I do enjoy his kind of intensity in his vocals and aggression in his vocals. So far, I'm enjoying this, actually. Like what he does here with the drums, right? I felt like they were going to go back to the same rhythm, and he just adds these extra elements to it. I think the question I've always had with the Meshuggah is like, I get the rhythm part, and I get that there's going to be these micro changes, right? And as the song evolves, almost like a trance song, there's these changes within the song that are subtle, but they change how you interpret the music. But it's also like, for me, I've always had this question, so why don't they go from these moments to something that's a little bit more traditional, or really change up their riffs or something like that? It could still be rhythm based, but just have different riffs. And I never understood this element, because it still feels like to me that they relatively stay within a certain amount of riffs or percussion. I don't know what you call notes or measures. And they kind of repeat themselves over and over and over, and then build over and over and over, and then build. And to me, it feels like it can get monotonous, doesn't it? Like if it's every song is like this. So I'm trying to kind of understand from the angle of, because I understand this very, it's hard to play what they're doing on the drums for sure, because I know Hake, I think is the name of the drummer. He's very known in the community being one kick-ass drummer. And I understand from a technical standpoint, but how about from a sonic standpoint of somebody listening to it, you know? Yeah, say they came back to this element, but now it's a little bit changed, right? It's a little bit different. There's a different drum pattern in there, but kind of with similar guitars. Like I get the philosophy of this band now. Like I'm starting to understand, especially with the more modern productions. I'm understanding the philosophy of this band, but I'm having a hard time like asking too many questions in my head. Well, why not this? Why not that? I have to say, I'm like Rational Gaze, I'm really enjoying this song a lot more than the other ones I've heard, just meaning like I can connect with it faster. But I'm also just, yeah, I think the new album might be also a good place. I am gonna listen to an album. I think I might have actually time this week to I wanted to record a full album of Meshuggah and do a full album reaction. I think I might have time this week, because I think it'd be just an interesting experiment of shock to the system, I think. And I find myself to be a relatively knowledgeable metalhead, you know? I don't feel like I am somebody who discovered it yesterday. It's like I've been into it for like over 20 years. And varied too. I don't stay within one genre. I try to go as varied as possible. For some reason, the gent in general has escaped me. Math metal, the gent, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of escaped my grasp with Ginger, with other bands in this kind of thing. They've escaped me because I have a hard time understanding the philosophy and kind of the hook of the music. But what I'm starting to realize, there is no hook, and the philosophy takes time to process. And I think a lot of musicians especially really appreciate what Meshuggah is all about because of their technicality. I've always said, to me personally, technicality is second to sonic. And I say sonically, meaning it's good and pleasing to the ears to listen to, and it gets me emotionally connected. I am not emotionally connected yet to Meshuggah. I am on an intellectual level understanding where they're at. It's almost literally, it's almost like a techno song, like an old school 70s to like a Jean-Michel Jarre techno song that evolves and changes as it goes, but in a metal version. And I really like this part actually. Yeah, this was good. Um, I might have probably liked this song the most that I've heard so far. Bleed, as I repeated it, I kind of got in the groove of it, but like I wouldn't search it out. Like I enjoy it and I actually want to listen to it from time to time. I do put it on, but I don't search out for it. For example, what I'm trying to say is like look at somebody like Bolt Thrower or Asphyx. They're a much simpler, like they're the old school death metal. They're much simpler bands. They're not super technically proficient, but they have this hook in their music to me, and they're able to kind of get me on an emotional level despite their simplicity and their riffs and guitar playing. Like I can name 20 bands who are more complex than they are, but they just have it, right? For me. Then there's bands like Nile, who are extremely technically proficient, death metal, very hard to get into. But when I did, I started hearing all the different rhythms and solos and riffs that they kind of went on, and I understood their philosophy. But Meshuggah just kind of, it doesn't fall in within all the realms that I know, and I think that's partially what pisses me off. Is like, why don't I get it? But I desperately want to. I'm definitely going to be checking out and reviewing the new album. I'm going to give a lot of caveats that I'm not a fan or that I might not understand this band, but I think it's going to be an interesting perspective to see from somebody who's not a hardcore Meshuggah or math metal fan, right? To see how they approach it and be kind of open-minded to it. And like I said, I will try my hardest to do a full album reaction out of the albums you guys recommended to me. I don't know which one I'll pick yet. That being said, make sure you leave your comments down below kind of to add the conversation and see where it goes. I'm going to be interested to read some of your comments. And I do apologize if I don't respond to every single person. I honestly didn't expect this channel to grow at the rate it does. And to have so many different conversations is becoming a little bit overwhelming to try to respond to every single person. I try my hardest too, even if it's a week later, but try my best to respond to every person. And I know going forward as the channel grows, it might be more difficult because I'm one person, also with a full-time job. I'm a personal trainer. I run my own business as a personal trainer. But again, I will commit to trying to respond to as many of you guys as I can. At the very least, acknowledge that I've read your comment, because I think that some of the points you guys bring up are very important. And that being said, guys, make sure to enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe out there and keep it metal.